Hi, good morning, and welcome to my new video related to Bitcoin education. In this video, I will deep dive on Bitcoin mining and energy consumption, and it will be second part, second videos out of 7 videos I will make on this topic. The topic of this video is excess of energy and stabilize the grid, a really important topic. This presentation is for educational purpose only, it is not a financial advice. These are the articles in the book I took reference from. You can also, it will be great if also you read these articles and if possible read this book, because they are really great source of information related to the articles mostly from Bitcoin and energy consumption, the book Bitcoin in general. Okay, let's start with the abstract. So Bitcoin mining industry is commonly misunderstood. The common narrative and the average person think um, that Bitcoin mining consumes too much energy and that Bitcoin mining is bad for the environment. This is the status in 2021, 2022. If you ask the person on the street who doesn't know that much, who didn't study Bitcoin, they think yes, because the common narrative is saying that Bitcoin mining is consume too much energy and is bad for the environment. But the reality is very different. Bitcoin mining is a breakthrough in the energy industry. To understand it, in fact, the problem is to understand it, a person should know how Bitcoin mining and how blockchain works work and two complex topics, and almost no one bother to study these topics. Even a better understanding will come from a knowledge of monetary history. It will take time for the financial and environmental world to understand Bitcoin mining. But considering that it's clear that the status that we have now is just a misconception, it is only a matter of time. Let's start with the definition. So Bitcoin mining, what is? It is the process of verifying new transaction to the Bitcoin digital currency system, as well as the process by which new Bitcoin enter into circulation. In particular, every 10 minutes, a new block is created, and miners spend energy in order to find a hash that is lower than the target. In this presentation, I will not go deep into how Bitcoin mining works. I discussed already in the video related to the blockchain. I did one full video on blockchain and 15 different videos in order to explain how the blockchain works. So in case you are more interested, you can go in the video, especially the video that is called proof of work. The higher the difficulty adjustment it is, the more energy is needed. And important to highlight is the amount of energy required is independent from the amount of the transaction. That's why I say if you hear someone pointing out the energy used per transaction, this person has poor knowledge about Bitcoin mining. So don't listen to him about Bitcoin mining, because many or journalists or people against Bitcoin, they are saying yes, but the energy cost per transaction. This doesn't make no sense, because the Bitcoin mining is to secure the transaction, and it's independent from the amount of transaction. We could have 10 times the same transactions and spend the same energy. While if a person is saying the amount per transaction, a person is the cost per transaction, a person can think that if the amount increase 10 times, then also the amount of energy should increase 10 times, and it is not true. As I said, so the two biggest, said in the abstract, the two biggest misconceptions of Bitcoin mining are Bitcoin mining consumes too much energy and Bitcoin mining is bad for the environment. The key reason is the general lack of knowledge and lack of education on the topic. Without spending hours to understand how the energy industry works and how Bitcoin mining works, the two statements seem to be true because they are intuitive and they are in the common narrative, but they are not true. And we have other statements like Bitcoin is consuming more energy than a small country that are misleading. And I will deep dive about the statements, the statements you see above in this video. Let's discuss about energy, and in particular about the concept of energy. A common misconception about energy is that it is scarce and limited. In the popular imagination, the Earth as a limited supply of energy that humans consume whenever they eat or move anything. For mainstream academia, energy is a zero-sum game whereby an individual consuming energy in the world is taking it away from others. This is what in the general thought. In reality, the total amount of energy resource available is practically infinite. For example, hourly solar energy that heat the earth is more energy than the entire human race consume in 1 year. And the rivers that run every hour of every day also contain more energy than the global energy consumption. The limitation on energy, there is only one limitation, is how much time humans dedicate towards channeling the energy resources from places where it is abundant to places where it is needed. So energy is practically infinite. Mathematically is finite, but practically is infinite. And it's just the only limitation is the human being, the time and the technology that allows the human being to channel this energy. The cost of energy is also coming from transportation cost, and this is very important. It's not just transforming into energy like waterfalls or carbon or solar into energy, but also transportation cost. With energy that needs to be transported where it is needed at the right time and at the right intensity. From energy industry point of view, the Bitcoin mining breakthrough is that it does not require power to be transformed. It can buy the power anywhere it is available. All what miners need are an internet connection and supply of energy. It is very important. It is the only technology that works in that way. Every other energy technology, you need to transport the energy at the right time, in the right place, the right intensity. With Bitcoin mining, not. You don't have transportation costs, and you can mine also 2 hours per day, 4 hours per day, 10 hours per day, or the whole day. In fact, Bitcoin mining is the only technology that can channel energy coming from stranded energy, excess, and surplus of energy. And this is a really breakthrough because so far we had no technology that can make use of wasted energy, excess surplus, or stranded energy. And in this video, we will focus on wasted energy, excess or surplus, and we will see how Bitcoin mining can help in stabilize the grid. So the consequence of this breakthrough is that Bitcoin miners will inevitably consume cheap, wasted, and stranded electricity, energy with zero opportunity cost. In fact, due to the difficulty adjustment, mining is consistently profitable only for miners who use electricity cheaper than the majority for the world electricity price. Let's look at next steps to understand why. Firstly, the global average price of electricity is $0.14 per kilowatt hour, and the miners are competing to create blocks and you are using energy at different prices. With more competition, difficulty adjustment increase, making unprofitable and therefore out of business the miners who buy electricity at the current average price. Miners will inevitably consume cheap, wasted, and stranded energy with zero opportunity cost. That costs between 0.04 and 0.05 kilowatt hours. So when the people think that Bitcoin mining is taking the energy we use for industry or for hospital or for residential, these people have really poor knowledge of Bitcoin blockchain and of Bitcoin mining. Now, let's deep dive on cheap energy, as we said earlier. The first case is about existing energy assets with excess of capacity, like energy grids, upstream oil and gas, nuclear, seasonal energy source like hydro, and intermittent energy source like solar and wind. It is only Bitcoin mining, another also breakthrough. It is the only technology that can use excess energy because Bitcoin mining is a series of uncorrelated competition, each of them 10 minutes long. It's not a hospital where you need energy the whole day or working where you need at least 16 hours per day or the whole day or residential where you need the whole day. Bitcoin mining is a series of uncorrelated competitions, each of them 10 minutes long. For sure, the more you use energy, then the more chance you have to mine Bitcoin. But you can perfectly run and have 20 hours using energy for the standard, and then 4 hours per day when you have excess of energy to use to mine Bitcoin. And where Bitcoin mining uses energy from gas that otherwise will be flooded in atmosphere, Bitcoin mining is also contributing to reduce the CO2 emissions. This we will see in a special video called Bitcoin can help is helping to fight climate change. Now let's deep dive on this cheap energy and the wasted energy and surplus of energy. So in fact, Bitcoin mining can balance energy supply from renewables once connected to the grid. In fact, once connected to the grid, miners can balance out the fluctuating energy supply. They are responsible consumer of energy, mining Bitcoins during times of low demand and serving the grid during times of peak demand. This ensures other electricity customers do not suffer rolling blackouts. Utilities call this a controlled load resource, and miners are a fast responding scale resource. We can see two examples. Firstly, solar energy is mostly channeled during the day, but it is used in the evening for illumination. Bitcoin miners can use the excess of energy during the daytime. Energy needed for heating, energy must available during the warmest day of the year. Bitcoin can use the extra supply during the warm days. So this you can see here two typical examples of how Bitcoin mining can use surplus of energy. And again, is the only technology that can do this. Let's look next slide now. Each individual computation is statistically, in fact, independent of the last one, meaning that the process of mining can be stopped at any moment without a loss of progress. This allows miners to dial down their users on short notice, if necessary, grid operators, if necessary. So you can shut down or open if it is necessary. And grid operators love this, as they reckon with increasingly unstable grids due to an influx of wind and solar. Imagine to be a grid operator, so you have too much energy, or then you decrease the supply, but it's unprofitable, so you mine Bitcoin. Or you have too low supply, too high demand, you ask the miners to shut down, and the miners shut down. It's the only a power that before the grid operators didn't have. Normally, grid operators have to keep fast reacting natural gas power plants in reserve in order to backstop a reliable wind and solar. But with flexible load in the form of Bitcoin mining, these operators have a new tool. They can simply ask miners to reduce their consumption to offset a loss of supply. And miners gladly do that within seconds. In fact, today, the mass majority of Bitcoin miners in North America participate in these demand programs. Bitcoin mining can use the excess of energy. Bitcoin mining, let's resume. Bitcoin mining can use excess of energy. Bitcoin mining is helping in stabilizing the grid, making them infrastructure more profitable and allowing the company being able to expand and to hire new employees. So I hope this video help you to understand the benefit of Bitcoin mining. As said, at the moment, the common narrative, financial world and environmental world, they are thinking that Bitcoin mining is bad for the environment. Bitcoin mining consumes too much energy. In reality, it's not true, and being not true, it will just take time for the world to understand Bitcoin. It will take also time because it's quite complex. Blockchain and Bitcoin mining are complex topics, but we will get there one day. Thanks, and see you in one of the next video. Bye.